So, good morning, teachers and friends. Today, me, Matthew Chandra from Grade of Science, will be doing the biology project about smoking case study. So, for the first one is the introduction. Tobacco was introduced to Europe from South America in the 16th century. There are 1.1 billion smokers worldwide. In 1990, there were 3 million smoking-related deaths per year, projected to rise 8 million by 2020, representing 12% of all deaths. Composition. The principal components are tar and nicotine, the amount of which can vary greatly depending on the country in which cigarettes are sold. The components of tobacco smoke is complex. More than 500 compounds have been identified and varies with the type of tobacco and the way it is smoked. The chief pharmacologically active ingredients are nicotine and tars. Smoke of cigars and pipes is alkaline, which has the pH of 8.5, and nicotine is relatively unionized and lipid soluble, so that is readily to be absorbed in the mouth. Cigar and pipe smokes thus obtain nicotine without inhaling. Smoked cigars is acidic and nicotine is relatively insoluble in lipids. The desired amount are absorbed only if nicotine is taken into lungs for compensates for the lower lipid solubility. Cigarette smokers therefore inhale and have a high rate of death from tar induced lung cancer. Tobacco smoke contains 1 until 5% of carbon monoxide, and habitual smokers have 3.7%. Heavy smokers as much as 15% of their hemoglobin as carboxyhemoglobin. Carcinogenic substance has been identified in tobacco, smoke condensates from cigarettes, cigars, and pipes. Polycyclic hydrocarbons are responsible for hepatic enzyme induction that occurs in smokers. Types of tobacco smoke exposure. First-hand smoke exposure is the most inhaled by smoker. Second-hand smoke exposure, tobacco smoke inhaled by non-smoker, which is also called as passive smoker. Side stream smoke, which is released by burning end. Mainstream smoke, which is exhaled by a smoker. Third-hand tobacco exposure, this is cigarette smoke deposits in furnitures, clothing, and other surfaces. It includes invisible smoke left in the air after a cigarette is extinguished. Disease patterns related to tobacco smoke. Smoking is associated with various diseases of the cardiovascular and respiratory systems as well as cancer. It is estimated if current smoking tobacco consumption patterns are maintained, about 450 million adults will die as consequence of tobacco smoke-related disease between 2000 and 2050. Of the 450 million, about 50% will be between 30 and 69 years of age. 3 to 4 decades lag between the peak in smoking prevalence and subsequent peak in smoking-related mortality. Disease pattern related to tobacco smoke. Smoking is associated with various diseases of the cardiovascular and respiratory systems as well as cancer. Conditions associated with smoking and their relative risk for current smokers. Smoking and cancer. So here below is the relative risk about smoking and its diseases. Pulmonary disease and smoking. So these are the diseases which leads from smoking, which is lung cancer, chronic bronchitis, emphysema, asthma, increased susceptibility to pneumonia and pulmonary tuberculosis, increased susceptibility to desquamative interstitial pneumonitis, increased morbidity from viral respiratory infection. Smoking-related ILDS. Proposed classification of smoking-related. Group 1, chronic, that are very likely caused by cigarette smoking, respiratory bronchitis, Discriminative institutional pneumonia, adult pulmonary Langerhans cell histochrysiotis. So the second one, acute ILDs, acute eosinophilic pneumonia, pulmonary hemorrhage, and for group D that are statistically more prevalent, idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis, rheumatoid arthritis. And for the group 4 that are less prevalent in smokers, hypersensitive pneumonitis and sarcoidosis. Here are some other diseases from smoking, such as unstable angina, stroke, aortic aneurysm, worsening of congestive heart failure. Other effect of smoking, such as reduced fertility, premature birth, low birth weight, spontaneous abortion, abortic replacente, premature rupture, increased perimenal of mortality. So here are some hazards for children: hospitalization for respiratory infection in first year of life, wheezing, middle ear infection, asthma, sudden infant death. And for adults, lung cancer, coughs, angina, and others. This is some other example of smoking. So the prevalence of water pipe tobacco smoking has increased worldwide in part because of misconceptions about its safety. Today, water pipe smoking typically consists of combination of tobacco, water, wood charcoal, and a device known as a water pipe, shisha, chica, hookah, and others. The World Health Organization, or the WHO, has declared water pipe tobacco smoking is a new public health problem. Although water pipe smoking is perceived as a bit less harmful than cigarettes, unlike cigarettes, smoking water pipe has been associated with infectious disease and possibly a predisposition towards of psychoactive substances. Water pipe and cigarette smoke contain similar toxic agents, and due to the longer inhalation puffs required to generate the water smoke with pipe smoking, it is believed that up to 100 times more smoke is inhaled, thereby exposing the individual to a large amount of nicotine, carbon monoxide, and polyaromatic hydrocarbons. Compared with cigarettes, water pipes emit a much greater amount of ultrafine particles in the size of 0.02 until 1 micrometer in size, particularly from burning charcoal. Particles that are 0.3 is 0.8 until 3 micrometer deposits in the terminal airways and alveoli or air sacs of the lungs. Irreversible lung disease, such as chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, occurs in these terminal air sacs. Studies investigating the pulmonary function tests of water pipe smokes found not only disease of the FEV1, but also decreased values in peak expiratory flow rates. Carcinogenic effects of water pipe. 95% of the polyaromatic hydrocarbons were generated from the charcoal. A single session of water tobacco smoking produced as much as 20 low-tar cigarettes, and water pipe tobacco mainstream smoke produced much higher level of arsenic, chromium, and lead. Compared with a single cigarette, water pipe smoke yielded 20 times the total polycyclic aromatic carbon yield and 50 times the heavy polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. Water pipe smoking requires larger tidal volumes and longer inspiratory times. The larger inhaled respiratory volumes expose the smoker to more carcinogenic than cigarette smoking. So the carcinogenic effect is at least as that of cigarette smoking. Water pipes, tobacco should be subjected to the same regulation as cigarettes. Water pipes should include strong health warning, Claims and of harm reduction and safety should be prohibited. Misleading labeling such as contains 0 milligram tar, which may imply safety, should be prohibited. Water pipes should be included in comprehensive tobacco control efforts, including prevention strategies and cessations intervention. Water pipes should be prohibited in public place, consistent with bans of cigarettes and other forms of tobacco smoking. Education of health professionals, regulations at the public large urgently needed about the risk of water pipe smoking, including high potential levels of secondhand exposure among children, pregnant women, and others. So this is what happens when people stop smoking. The time course beneficial effects of smoking cessations. 12 until 1 day decrease carbon monoxide and nicotine levels. 48 until 72 hours carboxyhemoglobin level normalize and ciliary functions improves. 1 until 2 weeks decrease phantom reduction. 4 until 6 weeks, pulmonary functions test improve. 6 until 8 weeks, immune functions and metabolism normalizes. 8 until 12 weeks, decreases overall post-operative morbidity and mortality. An algorithm for treating tobacco use. Strategies for implementation: ask, advise, assess, assist, and arrange. Ask, systematically identify all tobacco users at every visit. Advise, strongly urge all tobacco users to quit. Assess, determine willingness to make a quit attempt. Assist, aid the patients in quitting. Arrange, schedule for follow-up contact. General clinic guidelines for prescribing pharmacotherapy for smoking cessations. As regards safety of medications, transmetal nicotine patches, nicotine gum, and bupropion appear to be safe for patients with chronic cardiovascular disease. Other medications are likely to be much safer than smoking in the presence of medical disease, but need further evaluation. Long-term therapy and combination therapy is better than monotherapy. Here are some pharmacotherapies for smoking cessations. Okay, I think that's it. Thank you.